Hey guys, it's your girl Zareenshah. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be trying out something super glossy, natural and glowing with a bold red lip. And for this week, I will be playing with Fenty Beauty's Stunna lip paint because this color is just stunning. There's no other word to describe it. I wasn't able to upload a video last week just because I have been super busy with makeup appointments. That's what I do on a full-time basis. I'm going to try to keep this as constant as possible, and I will try my best to upload a video every week. So for those that have just joined this channel, thank you so much for watching me. If you enjoyed my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. And for those that are already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for supporting my YouTube journey. I'm going to start off with some skincare. I am a huge believer of skincare. I think skincare is the most important step when it comes to applying your makeup. And I'm going to start off with a facial oil that I've been using lately. And this is Shiseido's treatment oil. You can actually use this on your face and body. So what I like to do is massage the oil, warm up my hands, inhale a little bit of the oil into the palms of my hand. That's because it's actually quite relaxing. And I'm going to pat the product down. When I'm working with my skin, I actually like to push everything upwards. This just brings in more blood to the skin and it gives your skin a natural flush. I've been focusing on my skincare a whole lot more just because I believe in applying less makeup. If your skin naturally looks really good, then you have to apply less foundation, and yeah, I mean that's always a bonus for me at least. If you're not wearing the hijab, make sure that you go down towards your neck, you bring it upwards, you can even go onto your ears. But since all of that is covered in my case, and when it comes to any motion, when I'm applying my skincare or any kind of facial oil, I like to move in an upward direction. This actually helps the contours of your face in the long run. So this is almost like a dry oil, so I don't feel any over residue on top. It just feels like it's been completely soaked in, which is a lovely feeling. And next, this is Marc Jacobs Invisible Coconut Oil Primer. I'm not a huge fan of primers, but this is actually super hydrating and it smells so good on the skin. Just gonna massage all of this in. I actually feel like I should be on a beach right now suntanning because this just feels so calming and relaxing. I have super dry skin, so I want to make sure that my skin is extremely hydrated before I start working with foundation. And if you want that glow, you're not going to be able to achieve it if your skin isn't moisturized properly. I'm going to put a little bit of lip balm. I always start prepping my lips at the very beginning. This is Molton Brown, and it's actually called a lip saver. It really does save your lips. It is a Korean product that I received in one of my glam boxes, and it is an illuminating face cream. It's by a Korean brand called Erborian. So I'm actually just gonna apply this to the high planes of my face. This is my cheeks. I like to layer my highlight. So just above my cheekbone, top of my nose, my forehead, and a little bit above my lip. Now I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of foundation. I am actually going to use a mix of the two Kevyn foundation. It's the Skin Illuminating Foundation. However, as a makeup artist, I never really carry my own exact shade. I have so many different shades for my makeup kit. So I am probably an EF06. I'm just going to mix these two to get the right shade of foundation for my skin. I think this is fine. I prefer using my fingers when it comes to applying my foundation just because your fingers help to warm up the product and it helps to melt the product onto your skin, so it looks a lot more natural than using a foundation brush. And when you're using your fingers, you can kind of control how much product you actually end up putting onto your face. Sometimes when you use a brush, you kind of end up slapping on way too much and then you have to overblend and it just takes so much longer. So just keep things simple. When you're working on yourself, target the areas that need more work. So don't put it all over if you don't need to. If you've got great skin, less is more. Focus on the areas that you might have more pigmentation or more scarring. But you see, it just looks like skin. That's how I like my foundation to look. I really don't like it to look like I've got a layer on top. When you use your fingers, all of this tapping motion, it actually kind of wakes up your skin. So it just brings out the natural flush of your skin back onto the surface. I'm going to apply a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape. This is a extremely thick full coverage concealer, I'm not going to lie. So I'm just going to add a few drops of this, just right there. Right there. Just going to pat this all down. And when you're working with your under eye area, try to keep your eyes as open as possible. Try not to squint. When you squint, you create extra lines and the concealer is going to get into the folds of your skin. And you don't want that to happen. And as you notice, I put the concealer around my eye area, not directly underneath, because you want to build it upwards. When there's too much product, that's when you start creasing. And particularly with the Shape Tape or even the NARS concealer, I like to give them a couple of seconds to dry and get slightly tacky. I feel that this way they set better and they don't crease as much. So I'm just kind of bringing the product all over. Now I'm going to go back with a little bit more highlight. This is Maybelline's Strobing Stick. I'm going to go ahead with my fingers. I'm going to apply it on the high planes of my cheeks. I feel like when you layer your highlight, it actually looks more like skin as opposed to just using one product. I like to create more of a dimension. I recently picked up this cream blush from H&M. It is their Dusty Rose Pure Velvet Cream Blush. It's a super pretty color and it was actually on sale. So I think this came up to 10 or 15 dirhams, which is, yay, always a bonus. I think the best way to apply cream blush is actually with your finger and not with a brush. It's a pretty fresh color. I know we're in the UAE, so it is possible to melt a little bit. So I am going to go ahead with a little bit of powder in a minute, but I just want to show you guys how pretty it is to work with more cream-based products. I'm just going to brush my brows first because I did have an oil on top, and if I don't brush my hair and get out of that facial oil, my eyebrows won't, stay in place the way I want them to. I'm gonna go ahead with Illamasqua. It's a brow gel, and this is in Strike. It's like a medium brown, charcoal brown color. I like my brows to look a little bit fuller. I usually jump between Anastasia's Dip Brow in medium brown and Illamasqua's brow gel. But between the two, I find that the Illamasqua's brow gel to be more creamy, so it's actually easier to work with. The Dip Brow from Anastasia has dried up several times for me. I find that I have to use Inglaud's Duraline to make it a little bit more creamier and more emollient. While I'm defining the front, I just like to brush in hair strokes. Brush it out with a spoolie. It softens everything out. So my brows are done. This tends to dry up in a few seconds, so I'm just gonna make sure everything is brushed out. I'm gonna go ahead with RCMA's translucent powder. I usually switch between this and Ben Nye's Neutral Set. Just wanna set my eyes a little bit, make sure there are no extra folds or creasing from the foundation. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I always insist on curling my lashes. So this is Benefit's Bad Gal Mascara. It's their latest mascara. I love how long it makes my lashes, and the fact that it doesn't clump them together is a major bonus point. Before I start with the lips, I am going to use Charlotte Tilbury's FILMSTAR Bronze in Gold. It has a beautiful bronze color and a soft highlight. This is a flat contouring brush. I believe it's a brand called HAKUHODO. I found this at the makeup show in New York, and this rectangular tip really helps to bring your cheekbones out. I'm actually setting with a contour powder. So this has really given my cheeks a super sculpted look. I am just dusting and pressing a little bit of the RCMA translucent powder underneath. I'm gonna add a little bit just on the sides of my nose, any area that I feel I might somewhat crease. But I want to keep everything else still glossy, dewy, and glowing. So I'm not going to powder anywhere else. Now I'm going to go ahead with Fenty Beauty's Stunna Lip Paint. This brush is super unique. It almost looks like a felt tip. So I'm using the edge of the brush to define the contours of my lip. Okay, so when it comes to applying a red lip particularly, what I like to do is just smile to make sure that everything's kind of even, so you've covered all the corners of your mouth. And I have. The best way to work with a Stunna lip paint is to actually apply a very thin layer onto your lips first. Pucker your lips up and then spread the lip color step by step, because this is quite liquidy. It can run onto your teeth. That is what happened with me while I was applying this lip color. But this is such a beautiful color to work with. This is a perfect red carpet lip color. Alright guys, so I am done with today's makeup look with a bold red lip. So I've used, my biggest tool for this look has been my hands, and I've used just 4 makeup brushes. I hope you guys have found this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button right there. And I'll see you guys next week.